but we're going to continue on. Hopefully YouTube can get back online, and if not, we'll finish out on Twitch. Sunny Bryce says, are you sure it's not the operator? I'm pretty sure it still could be, for sure. But at this point, I've done pretty much all I can, in my power at least, to get this going. Okay, it does say it's back online, so I think we're potentially good to go. But if it goes off again, you guys can let me know. I would appreciate it. Progress says, and we're back. Guys, I'm sorry. So if you're on YouTube and it shuts down, I apologize. I'm still on Twitch and TikTok. I have no idea why it even shut down. But we are trying a new streaming platform called Restream, which allows you to stream to multiple platforms at the same time. So we're giving it a shot. And not sure if it's going to be, something that works in the future here. Let's go back to the astrology. Someone says, don't make excuses for guys on YouTube. TikToks tell me don't make excuses for YouTube generally as a platform. If they don't work, they don't work. We just got to go with the ones that work. I guess so. Okay, we'll go back over the trine descriptions one more time. If you guys are on YouTube though, and it goes out again, you can go over to Twitch if you want, or TikTok. We still are live on Twitch, and we have the charts up. And I believe that's in the link in the description box on my YouTube page. So just so you guys know, that's available for you. All right. So let's just a brief reminder here. So trines in terms of flow. Won't go through the whole thing again, but trines in terms of flow. So the biggest thing that I was saying is like masculine energy is a big thing right now. Even if you're a female or you're more feminine, right? Balancing out that masculine side, finding ways to do more and to quote unquote be less. I know it sounds a little weird the way I said it, but simply existing, okay, is going to provide a lot of maybe even like stagnancy or suffering at this time as compared to doing and going and being on the move. So if you are feeling in some ways limited, constrained, repressed, depressed, right? Any of those types of things. Consider how you can start to implement things in your life that is going to get you moving, okay, and doing specifically, as opposed to just being. Also, it's about learning to trust that your beingness that you have cultivated through all of this time, all of this shadow work that we've been talking about for 6 months plus, right? That is going to carry on with you during your doingness. Okay? So good little kind of transition or mix of energies here. Can you channel, and how well can you channel your inner masculine? I would say that's the biggest part I can share. How well can you channel your inner masculine? Okay. All right, let's get the maybe it was the music, who knows, but we'll try the music one more time. All right. So let's go ahead and move forward a little bit and just see what's going on. I love how the chat's saying, welcome back, everyone. That's awesome. All right. This music's awesome. Cool. All right. So moving forward here. Now, Neptune we talked about being in retrograde, right? And that's a 6-month period. One of my good friends reminded me. Neptune in retrograde, 6-month period of time. Also have Jupiter in retrograde here. Both are in Pisces. So Jupiter and Neptune, which I believe are both the ruling planets of Pisces. I believe Jupiter is the classic ruler of Pisces, if I'm not mistaken. and Neptune is the current or modern ruler of Pisces. The modern ruler of Jupiter would be Sagittarius, but some ancient, astrologers look at Jupiter to be a ruling planet of Pisces as well. So it's almost like these next 6 months are going to force us to, or not force us, but they're going to really put us into a state of reevaluating our perception around what and how specifically spirituality, consciousness, and an understanding of the deeper layers of what exists within the world mean to us practically within society. I feel it's also a little bit about relatability as well. Okay, so it's kind of I feel like the theme here that's going to be taking place over these next 6 months is like, how can we integrate our sense of what spirituality means generally as a term, but really in terms of like elevating consciousness, growing as individuals and as souls, growing as humans even. All of the woo-woo stuff, right, that we are most kind of familiar or fond with, or a lot of us here in this chat that are really familiar with, how do we take that and integrate it in even more so with our daily lives, but even more so within the rest of society collectively? And what does that mean? Why is understanding consciousness, spirituality, and the gift of human potential, Maria, important for society moving forward? Okay, that's a question I'll pose to all of us that's going to be really under construction on a deeper collective level moving forward for the next 6 months. I feel like the opportunity for everyone is to reassess and reevaluate what it means to them in their daily lives. Even myself, speaking personally here, I feel that I'm going through a massive interpersonal soul transition. And let me know if some of you guys are feeling this as well or something similar, to being less kind of blatantly woo-woo or spiritual about things, and just being like a normal human, but also having an awareness of all that exists within and around and behind me, right? In terms of the consciousness and, spiritual truths in the universe. And it's almost through that humanness that you can integrate a deeper level of spirituality. It's almost like the deeper that you become human, the deeper you integrate your existence here on this planet as a normal, singular individual doing your thing. Obviously, I know we're all connected, but the more you integrate that kind of normalness or humanness within and see that as a way of integrating spirituality, I feel that's the positive gift within these next 6 months that's going to take place. And it's important because it's almost like going back to our roots. It's almost like going back to our roots. And as we, it's like the feeling I get is like, if you guys think of like ancients, the ancient people who like primitive people. All right, let's just talk about hunter-gatherers. I was watching this little YouTube special or the show on hunter-gatherers. This guy went out and he was living amongst, quote unquote primitive hunter-gatherers for a few weeks or whatever, just to kind of get the lifestyle. And it's funny, this guy purposefully asked these hunter-gatherers like what they, like the deeper questions, like what is meaningful to you in life? Like what's the most, I think one of the questions was like, what is the most important thing to you in life? What is the meaning of life? Like, all these things to this hunter-gatherer, the chief hunter-gatherer. And the hunter-gatherer was like, his answer was meat and honey. Meat and honey were the most, like, he asked, what's the most important thing possible in life? And he said, meat and honey. But he was completely serious about it, right? Like, it wasn't a joke. Like, he was like, meat and honey are the most important things in that hunter-gatherer's life. And it was such a profound moment for me because I was just like, wow, like, if we could live like that, you know what I mean? It's almost like a little bit of pulling it back, like regression a little bit, like living in our natural state, because their lives are constantly in flow. Their lives, they're not sitting around, stressing about their emotions, stressing about their twin flame connection. Like, they're just like, we need to get some meat. We need to get some honey. We need to go raid some baboons. I mean, it was pretty crazy, the stuff they were doing. But it's like, literally, if they didn't eat something, they didn't survive. It's like they had to hunt every single day. So it's almost like, but there's something very deep and profound about that way of being, of existence too. You know what I mean? Like, they didn't really have the time or space in their own life to contemplate the deeper meanings to things. And it's almost like, have some of us gone so far into the deeper meanings of things that we've lost out on the essence fully of what it means to just live and to do and to hunt and to go get our version of meat and honey, so we could live and celebrate that night. It's funny because every single night from what I saw, at least, that they got meat and honey, and they didn't get honey all the time, by the way. In fact, to get honey, they had to go up into these guys are incredible beasts. I mean, it's funny. We should watch the video a little bit. These guys go up, if you guys want. They'd go up to a tree. They'd have a little bit of smoke, try and calm these bees down. They'd like reach their hands into the hive, grab out these fistfuls of honey, getting stung the entire time, no protection whatsoever, and they take this honey back, and it's like, you're going to celebrate a little bit if you just like basically got your ass stung 50 plus times. You know what I mean? Just get some honey and some meat. So if you got honey and meat, it was a good night, and you're going to celebrate. It's almost like, what can we do? What can we focus on a daily basis that, takes a little bit of effort, takes a little bit of getting stung a few times, right? Gives us a little bit of that feeling of accomplishment and momentum so that we can go back and celebrate at the end of the day, every single day. And knowing that it just doesn't feel the same if we don't have something to celebrate at the end of every single day. So that's one practice I'm going to recommend for all of you guys watching. Not just to my clients who are watching, but to all of you guys watching who are resonating with this, right? How can you make it so that every single day, at the end of your day, you are in celebration of some sort, right? How amazing would that be? Oh, Amy saw Amy, I'm not surprised. Amy says she saw the documentary. LOL, that must have been some magic honey. Yeah, I know. For them to go do what they did, right? Ali says gratitude. Sunny Bright says gratitude. Yeah, totally. Provincia says, I feel like, let me check in with the chat for real quick so I'm not just talking at you guys. Praga says, Dan, thank you so much for putting things into perspective for me. You're welcome, Praga. It put things into perspective for me too. You know what I mean? It's like, it's a whole other side to life, I feel, is just, and sometimes we have to create those things, right? Sometimes we have to, because we've gotten so like far off in society, and so many of all of our basic needs are met that, hey, what's going on? Hey, from Southern California, Carmel Cochran, I think it's the name. Welcome. We've gotten so many of our basic needs met, right? It's like sometimes we have to actually create things that puts us a little bit in struggle. We have to create those things. Like, unless you're involved in some sort of other structure that's going to create those things, we have to create those things consciously as a task, as a responsibility to awaken those inner genes within us. Okay, that inner laden, dormant potential. Really, it's potential, right? DNA strands, genes, potential within us that thrives off of struggle, thrives off of effort, thrives off of pain. This is why I feel I'm really getting back into it, of like, part of the appeal of working out, and especially working out intensely, is there's a bit of a maniacal thrill and joy that comes from putting yourself through immense struggle and pain. Right? And maybe it's just my way of coping. But there's a little bit of that. And I feel like that's just something deep within us that, again, we have a responsibility to recreate, because ironically society has taken care of a lot of those basic needs so well that we've become so advanced that regression is actually the key to evolution. So I'll leave it at that. Britt L says she just got home from work, missed this. Well, if you are desiring to stay with us, Britt L, grab a drink. Welcome back from work. And we're going to continue on with the astrology here. And then we'll do some Q&A at the end, and we'll hang out, have some more whiskey. And we'll go from there. You guys having a good time? This helpful for you guys? I didn't know how this was going to go, honestly, truthfully. But I think it's going pretty well. I'm having a good time. So thank you guys for this. I appreciate it. All right. So Praga says, also easy come, easy go. So the things that take the most time to manifest can be worth the wait. Yep, I totally agree with that. Melanie says, very disappointed this isn't our casual TikTok chat. We'll have one of those again soon, don't worry. By the way, quick shameless plug. For those of you guys who are new or watching me for the first time, or you're relatively new, or you're on YouTube, the primary motivation or momentum for me right now is to be on Twitch and to literally take Twitch by storm and to create a whole new category or way of being on Twitch. So if you haven't followed me on Twitch, highly recommend it. And what we're doing is we're doing at least once a week, hopefully in the future multiple times a week, live, cold, tarot, and astrology readings for free on Twitch. No donation required, nothing required. Just you hop on, you have a question, I read for you, do a little spread for you, and we grow our audience and have a good time and it's what's funny is what I just described, and I'm just realizing now, this often happens when I channel stuff and then I realize like how it applies in my life, is Twitch is kind of that, I don't want to say like devolved, but it's kind of that like very specific culture of like just being human, right? Being human. Like we've got, you know, women in bikinis and hot tubs on there. We've got people playing games. We've got a very specific kind of human culture, human, wild, and free culture right on Twitch. And it's like we're literally bringing this essence of spirituality in the form of tarot and astrology into the humanness. And I think if I'm going to survive and thrive on Twitch, then I got to really kind of just be a normal dude, you know? Oh, man. So yeah, we're kind of bringing this into the world, guys. I feel like that's part of our responsibility. All of us watching, honestly, I really feel this, is bringing this sense of a deeper meaning to existence and to each individual's life in a new way, but that's relatable to the normal human being. And I feel Twitch is a great opportunity to do that. Not just for me doing it, but for you guys in chat. You guys are going to be encountering, if you haven't already, new people finding us organically on Twitch, on chat. And you guys can all have a chance to mingle with them and to, you know, welcome new people to the family. In fact, if you're on Twitch, just as a random, I don't know if there is anyone that this is true for, but if you're on Twitch and you've never heard of me before, but you joined organically through Twitch, let us know in the chat. We'd love to meet you. Not to single you out or embarrass you, but I am curious if there is anyone from Twitch that found me organically, not through TikTok and not through YouTube. Let us know if you can, and if you're bold enough and brave enough to announce yourself. We would love to welcome you. All right, and be sure to follow me on Twitch if you haven't already. Let's continue on with the reading here. So we're just going to look at the next few days and just kind of see what's going on here. Again, we're getting my main way I work is like I get a general theme, channel some, you know, truths about that theme, and then basically say, hey, here are the lessons to learn as you're moving forward. Here's the perspective to have. So new way of looking at spirituality, new way of integrating spirituality or consciousness into the normal human experience, and also again, evolving through regression in some ways, right? Evolving through regression. Not looking at regression of being just a human, doing human day-to-day simple things that are required for survival, for awakening the inner potential of genes through struggle and pain within us, right? Not looking down or as those to those things as if they were lesser, but looking to them as if they were more, right? To allow us to be more of ourselves into our human experience. That is the main theme I feel that spirituality is shifting into in the next 6 months over here. And yes, TikTok, it is time for a drink. Thank you so much. Are you guys still drinking? Let me know in the chat. Whiskey got a little watery, so that's good though. I still got some reading to do. Okay. So we're going to keep moving forward here. Let's go ahead and take a look at July. Because I feel like June is kind of, you know, we're wrapping up June here. It's going to be good. I do specifically want to look out and see, because we have Venus here coming into a conjunction, meeting up with Mars here in Leo. So that's going to be a very potent day. All right, we'll say it that way. We've also got, oh boy, when is this going to happen? So we have Juno. No, hold on. Oh man, are we going to see a Juno South Node conjunction here in Sagittarius? Oh, we are. Wow. Okay. So we are going to see a Juno South Node conjunction in Sagittarius by July 18th. And we're going to see a conjunction between Mars and Venus. Wow. In Leo. Wow. Okay. Making a loose opposition to Jupiter in Pisces here. Retrograde Jupiter in Pisces, more or less. Wow. Pluto's also conjunct the Earth here in Capricorn. And we've got a square coming over to Ceres and Lilith as well. So July, I'll say, July is going to be a potent month. That's the word that comes to me here, is a very potent month. I would say potent and a bit explosive. I don't get necessarily like a bad or dangerous feeling around it. Not at all. On the contrary, it feels very... like there's a lot of progress being made. A lot of progress being made, right? It's almost like we're setting ourselves up for the ability to make massive progress and changes and momentum in our lives. It's almost like we're setting the feeling I get is like this leading up period to all of this. We're making the changes to our foundation, our habits, our way of being that is going to facilitate massive amounts of progress and momentum in our daily lives that is unrestricted and unrestrained in any way. It's also the careful cultivation, okay, because we have, again, Mars coming in with Venus here in Leo, the careful cultivation of the integration and balance between the masculine and feminine energies coming into sync. What's interesting is at the same time we have this South Node conjunct Juno in Sagittarius, which is going to be, yeah, and both are retrograde here, a significant breaking point from karmic lessons of the past related to and around significant feelings in and around relationships tied in with the healing of codependent energy coming into a fuller place of balance, power, and astuteness within our own selves here. I feel a lot of the work that's being done right now, wherever you're at, is to have the proper balance between the utilization of the masculine energy within you and the beingness of the feminine. And I feel it's really leading up towards this particular point in time, July 18th, and even more so when these actually come into a conjunction, which let's see when that happens to be, or if that's even, actually we might have already passed that. So wait, let me go back. Okay. So yeah, so actually on the 13th of July, so this is actually pretty big, I would say. Now it's in Leo here, and it's also making a square over to Ceres and Taurus. So the balance of your very beingness with your ability to consciously do and to create in order to be seen by others, and in order to express yourself and to be recognized as someone of value specifically, is going to be coming to the forefront and is going to again help you to make a lot more progress. So if there is any energy inside of you that right now still is needing that balance, or you know, like, oh, I'm still working on my feminine energy, I'm still working on my masculine energy, right? How to be and to be with emotions and to deal with emotions and to represent spontaneously all of the emotions within you without restraint, right? And that love and that genuine support versus the masculine, right? Which is more of a active, go do it, go accomplish it, go organize it, right? Contain it into its proper kind of places for things to be in the best alignment and order. Whatever area here, this is going to be your opportunity as you continue to work on that to embody both of those things, which will allow you to be an even more effective person of expression and impact. Person who is able to be seen and recognized and appreciated for their gifts. Okay. Yeah. So if you are going through, like, if you are someone who has been feeling lately like they've been needing to kind of embody a little bit more of the King of Swords energy, which has been coming a lot in the readings I've been doing for people and for myself, it's almost like you got to trust that direction, okay, and that cultivation of that side of yourself, meaning making those decisions from more of a logical place or a place of what is best overall for everyone as well as yourself, outside of emotions or outside of your emotional reality. That those decisions, that way of being, is really here to help propel you into greatness. It's pretty much, right, I would say the essence of greatness. If we could talk about greatness for a second, it's coming up here. I'm not sure exactly why, but the essence of what it means to be great within yourself, right? The greatest possible version of yourself. What does that mean? I truly believe one of those aspects, if I were to say there's a list of things to accomplish or to do or to create in order to be your greatest self, it would be a perfect balance and a dance between the masculine and feminine sides within yourself, and to be able to go into one fully at sometimes, go into another fully at sometimes, and to be able to integrate both ways of being, okay, all at the same time within every single event or opportunity that you have. So one thing I want you to point you guys to, right, is Mel says, yeah, great equals speaking your truth. I love that. If you guys have a definition of what great means to you as well, please let us know in the chat. I'd love to hear. But it's being able to come back and forth when the energy calls for it, when the time is right, between being in your feminine, being in your expression and your emotions, being in your spontaneous, feeling-oriented, intuitive way of being, and also consciously doing and creating from a place of action, mind, and doing this, right, the masculine, and slipping in between both, that is going to be completely magical and game-changing for all of us. So it's tough. A lot of us are working on that more of a masculine way of being. Some of us are working on more of a feminine way of being. Either one's okay. But you just got to recognize which one you're progressing towards and know that by July 13th, things are, and they should definitely come into a bit of balance And I feel like there's like what's coming to me is like there's going to be a bit of a test or a stage or a just a like, hey, like I'm out here to the world, like see me now, that you're going to feel. And it's almost going to test, quote unquote, your ability to be and to do at the same time, or to bring your beingness in with your doingness, if that makes sense, in a way of expression for others, in impact for others. Alice says, ugh, test. Yeah, I know. I always use the word test, and I don't like it, but that word always comes to me. So anyways, big stuff on the horizon. And it's funny. I mean, this is like the karma right now around relationships. I'll just say it. It's like it's all about healing any codependent energy. You know, any energy that is just not able to do and to be within itself without relying on anything or anyone else for support, for engagement, for emotional kind of validation in any way. All of that shit is what is being actively released and healed, okay? And I do feel there's a bit, again, also of a culmination around this time that's like, it's almost like your growth in balance in those both ways of being has been caused by, okay, karma through relationships here from the past. So just know, like, you know, whatever lessons you're going through or experiencing when it comes to karma around relationships from your past or with people from past lives even, that is specifically right now energetically for the purpose of teaching you to be strong and independent and balanced within yourself. That's its only purpose, right? It's like, no matter how much we would want to basically, you know, find and be with the love of our life and just be with that Juno person, with all of these things going on, and especially with it making a trine to Chiron specifically, you know, it's a lot about those growing pains, I would say, just energetically, right? And it's nothing you can help. And I would say that's a little bit of a relief, maybe, you know, I would say maybe it's a little bit of relief. If you guys are wondering, like, why can't I just tomorrow be with and find and you know, just have a happy life, have that 10 of Cups life with the love of my life? Well, it's because collectively, right, there are certain lessons here still going on that is essentially preventing that, especially if we look at Juno as being, you know, the one that we were meant to be with. Right now, the one is the one that's causing the most lessons to learn, to grow from, right? Specifically, conjunct the South Node in Sagittarius. That is basically undoing and imploding all of our prior old ways of being and belief systems and beliefs generally, right? And conditioning and all of these things, right? All of these things that need to be dismantled is being imploded, specifically through the karma and lessons through love and relationships. So just know it's a normal thing if you are going through that. You know, it doesn't mean you have to be going through that, but I feel a lot of us collectively are, because of this. Someone on TikTok says, fall in love with yourself first and foremost. I totally agree. That's totally, absolutely, 100% the core theme of the lesson going on right now. Jess on Twitch says, need to love myself first and know I deserve love to be loved. Totally agree with that. Shauna says, that's my South Node, says Shauna. Oh, you must be going through it pretty big time, Shauna. Thanks for being here with us. Sunny Bright on Twitch says, I think it means I just have to work on myself. That's why I'm single. Nothing sticks, so I can become the best version of myself. I got to hand it to you there. That's amazing self-awareness. It's incredible. And it's frustrating, yes, but also very true. It's like, if there is like things that aren't working out in terms of wanting to be in a relationship with someone else right now, it's because of specifically these are the lessons, right? And your soul will always put you in the situation, even if you don't really want it, that is most harmonious for your overall growth and ascension as a soul. And so if that particular growth requires you being single, well, guess what? Your soul's going to find a way to have you be single, you know? Jen says, frustrating, but got to be strong and keep going forward, working on yourself. That's exactly right. Exactly right. But big times ahead. Big times ahead here. I think this is going to be, it also feels like a bit of a celebration, if I'm being honest, here, in terms of what you've accomplished, okay? So everything that you are doing and working on and going through, it's going to be a bit of a rally point of like, you know what? Look at who we've become now. Even though things have been tough, look at who we've become now through all of the trials that we've been through in love and in life, specifically love, okay, that have helped us to become the person we are today. So look out for that. Mid-July is going to be potent, fun, intense, I would say, and maybe a bit celebratory as well. Okay. Speaking of normalness and humanness, right? Being a human, being primal, being in our most human states. Look at this. Kind of crazy. We're just channeling this, right? Lilith and Ceres. Okay. Now Ceres is kind of the original representation of this was like kind of an embodiment of this very earthy feminine energy. Like I think it was like the woman who would, or the feminine energy who would kind of harvest the grains, right, from Mother Earth herself, and just a little bit of the caretaker energy. Okay. So, very profound. I mean, it's funny because Lilith and Ceres are kind of like, in some ways, energetic opposites, but they're both like very different and unique and intense expressions of the feminine energy. Like there's many different expressions of the feminine energy, right? Like there's just, you can't ever pin her down to one way of being. But Lilith and Ceres, I'd say, are two extreme opposites here of both sides. And it's almost like Ceres is kind of that, you know, gentle, loving, earthy, Mother Earth, like nurturing soul of support and love and unconditional love and kind of, you know, the harvest, right, of the bountiness, the plentifulness of the earth itself. And then Lilith is kind of that like very extreme and potent, sexualized, intensive, you know, very direct form of feminine intensity and feminine energy. And both being side by side here, particularly conjunct or near conjunct the North Node here in Gemini. Very, very interesting. Very interesting. I would say, so, you know, what's interesting is we talked about all of the flow and the harmony in regards to someone on TikTok's like, what is Ceres? Ceres is an asteroid that represents all of the things that I just channeled about and for her. But we're looking at the astrology here. So we have Ceres conjunct Lilith here, both asteroids and a loose conjunction with the North Node. And it's important to see this, what's conjunct the North Node, so we know the theme of where we got to go and what we got to do in our lives to be in alignment with where destiny wants to take us right now with the North Node here in Gemini. Now, North Node's also squaring the moon here around this time. Oh, I have to plug my computer in a few minutes. We'll finish this up and then we'll plug the computer in. Progress says they're both absolutely awe-inspiring. Yeah, I totally agree. They're both very cool. So we talked about the flow and harmony in terms of integrating the masculine, you know, integrating the beingness with more doing stuff, right? Being in the flow, spontaneous, creating things in our life that are going to give us more meaning, stability, order, and purpose for the long term. More of a masculine energy going on right now. But come July, particularly after we come into this balance with Venus and Mars and Leo, enabling us to express, this is a very human way of being, right? Lilith and Ceres, I would say, are some of the most humanizing asteroids, right, that we can possibly be or live in, right? And I would just say, like, it's this total coming together of all deeply empowered parts of the feminine energy specifically, for the feminine collective specifically around this time, right? Even though it's been about the masculine here recently, as we talked about, I really do feel like there's a big shift happening with the perception of what's acceptable in and around the expression coming from a feminine energy. And you guys are free to disagree or to agree with me, but I feel like there's an awakening of, hey, a little bit of it's okay to be sexy and to show off your sexiness and to even receive money for your sexiness, right? Talking about OnlyFans, and that it's kind of a natural, primal, instinctual desire and exchange, and that maybe even some women want to or enjoy doing that, and men or the masculine appreciate that way of being, right? It's more of this way of not looking down upon the most human, basic, primal, even sexual ways of being. I know we talk about sexual energy quite a bit with Lilith. I really do feel that theme is coming up quite a bit, and it's really crazy and it's really profound. As someone says, sugar daddy, and Sunny Bright says about sugar daddy about to start, says Madeline. You know, I just think it's I think it's something that is meant to be really honored for what it is, right? And I think that it's just a part of, it's like a different expression of the feminine. And if we can continue to integrate all different types of expressions that come from feminine energy, right? The more empowered and normal and appreciated and supported it can all be. And it's anything that we try to constrain or to restrict from being, right? Or to censor or to restrain or to say, that's not good, you shouldn't do that, or you're a bad person by doing that, or, you know, the stigma that exists with anything that allows the feminine to express any part of herself. And I'm not just talking about females, right? I'm talking about the feminine energy. Yes, this can also be with men, right? It's like, how many, this is a joke. This is a joke, but how many guys would support me if I started an OnlyFans? This is a joke. Let me please restrain that. I'm not starting an OnlyFans. Nothing against it. That's just not what I want to do. Jen says, "Uh-oh, yeah, too many drinks of whiskey." But I would say, yeah, the perception is really shifting and changing, and I think there's nothing wrong with it. It's a way of utilizing your unique body and desire and the desires of other people to make a living for yourself, right? And as long as you are okay and aware and choosing that and enjoying that and not feeling forced to do so for any reason, and you can really step into that like, hey, I'm doing it, it's okay, it's empowering, you can do it too if you want, and if you judge it or if you look down on it, then well, shame on you, right? Like, you don't need to be around me. But anyways, those are kind of my thoughts here on Lilith here, conjunct the North Node and Ceres. And then Ceres at the same time, it's almost like, I just kind of feel like Ceres is enveloping within that Lilith energy, okay? Because Lilith almost feels like it's an essential and necessary expression or part of the feminine, okay? But I feel like Ceres, for whatever reason, is more all-encompassing and can kind of take in and heal and help to nurture that side of the feminine. Just what it feels like energetically, right? It's almost like all expressions of the feminine are acceptable. Whatever she chooses to be, to do, to express, right? That's all acceptable. But what is her most natural resting state? I would ask, and you guys, feel free to put stuff in the chat. What is her, talking about the feminine, most natural resting state or way of being that she ultimately deep down in her soul desires to do and to be, right? Is it always or having the necessity or doing, right, being in that Lilith expression as part of a kind of a day-to-day way of being? Or is it more of being in that Ceres energy of like, being one with the earth and super nurturing, loving, supportive, right? Harvesting and being in tune with Mother Earth. And you guys let me know what you think about this. This is totally up for debate. This is just kind of my thoughts and ramblings here around this. But I just feel like Ceres is kind of there to send that unconditional love and encompassing or embracing that Lilith expression that maybe is a part of the feminine that's been rejected or looked down upon for a long time. We're getting some answers. So Fireflies 84 says nurturing but still sexy and loved. I love that. That's cool. And that's it. That's exact. You just described the exact combination, Fireflies, of Lilith and Ceres. She said nurturing but still sexy and loved. That's it, right? Amber Crane says to be accepted in your inner beauty. Okay, Ali says all of it depends on the day. Yeah, I love that. There you go. Progress says taking back my own power. It's okay to hold healthy boundaries with people. At Shauna. Yep. Love that. Sunny Bright, Act Sexy Kitty. Thank you. It's about getting out of my comfort zone and the breakup pushed for it. There you go. Yeah, you know it's part of the lesson when the breakup pushed for it. Cool. Madeline says personally, creative, and expressional. Sexual freedom, nurturing, but strong and independent. Yes. Yes, yes, and more yes. Strong and independent, nurturing, sexual freedom, personally, creative, and expressional, right? I do really feel like there's this, not just like right now, moving forward in the future, like there's all these questions around, you know, I feel there's questions around like what are the best practices or way of being, like what is acceptable when it comes to sexuality specifically. And maybe you guys can tell me, right? Like, what do you think about sexuality generally? Has your definition of sexuality or sexual exchange or, you know, higher levels of sex changed or shifted, right? What are your thoughts on that? Anyways, I feel it's all under transformation. That's definitely the direction we're heading with North Node and Gemini, and then with this all conjunct in Taurus as well. Just literally new perspectives on the bounty, right, or the benefits or the expression of the most human primal ways of being, and opening ourselves and learning about new perspectives and ways of being here. Okay. October Sky, good answers, guys. So she says, for me, nurturing, it takes a strong man to not be intimidated by a woman's powerful sexual energy and desires. Yeah, there you go. That's good. You know, I almost feel like there's a bit of a protector energy within that Lilith energy. It's almost like this, whatever you want to call it, like a shit test a little bit, right? Or like, hey, this is all of me, right? Can you handle me? Are you okay with handling me? Like, are you going to handle me to the masculine, right? Let me know if you guys agree with that. Like if Lilith comes up as that, it's almost like it's required in some ways to be able to express fully before you can drop into a place of full support and nurturing. That's kind of the feeling energetically I get around Lilith. Is it's a little bit of that, hey, like this is a part of me too. Like, are you along for the ride? Can you handle this? Are you going to be okay with this, right? Are you going to be scared by this? Fireflies 84, agreed. Only a secure man can handle that. I agree. Yeah, and look, it's a, you know, speaking from a man's perspective, it is also a very, it's an intimidating energy to be around, right? Like there's something very potent and very scary and very deep around a woman's intensive sexual, physical desires, right? And so this is, I really do believe this is where a lot of the shame and a lot of the fear and a lot of the, you know, mongering comes from, particularly from the masculine energy around this subject. But straight up, I'll just say this, you know, maybe it's crude, but like we got to be men. And we have to be secure enough in our own masculinity in order to handle every aspect of the feminine. And I believe, one thing I believe is that a female or a feminine, whatever you want to put it, but the feminine's natural way of expression in whatever spontaneous way of being that she needs to be in for that moment, for that night, for that day, is in its own way kind of it's a challenge or it's a test or it's a call to action for the masculine to rise, to be able to hold any energy and to create security, to create safety, to create containment for the feminine to be spontaneously whatever she desires. Michelle says, I'm more of the Lilith path. Praga says, preach, Brandon. Michelle says, Ceres, not so much. Rihanna says, I'll just handle myself unless a man proves he can. There you go. Brandon, the thing is, what's up with that? We are direct and forward, and you men run. Yeah. Okay. No, I mean, this is, I love this. Let me actually put my light on because The light's going out here. There we go. That's better, right? Bring some light to this conversation. No, I totally agree. I think this is it's a challenge in terms of how forward both, I would say, women and men, feminine and or masculine, men and women, can be with one another without feeling like they're intimidating the other, scaring the other, too much for the other, right? It's kind of a real problem or challenge, I would say, right? At least this is my sense. And part of what I feel is happening for the benefit of all is, again, the letting go of any sort of like restrainment or judgment around any expression of any energy or body, particularly within the feminine, and just saying, hey, this is all of me. If you can't handle it, then you're not for me. And those of you who can handle it, well, step up, essentially, right? But it does require, I would say, and just as like a little bit of, if I could share some advice, it requires like a full acceptance and embracing of all of those ways of being and all of those energies, and not a single ounce of self-doubt, self-shame, self-judgment, okay, when it comes to expressing your natural desires, even if there is doubt, shame, and judgment existing in society, okay? And it's hard. It's not easy. I'm not saying it's easy, but that is the biggest thing. Someone on TikTok says, yes, step up. I love it. That is the biggest thing that will cause change in the perception of everyone, both females and males, feminine and masculines, to accept this. And then I feel once the masculine energy learns, like, yeah, we're going to have to accept this and step up in our own way, well, things will become even better because the men will become stronger and more able to hold and to contain and create safety around any spontaneous way of existence within the feminine. And the feminine will have more of a freedom to express herself and all parts of herself within the safety that the masculine can create. But it's kind of this rampant feeling maybe of not feeling secure or safe within the feminine energy that maybe has kept her from feeling like she's able to express all of those parts of herself. Would you guys agree or disagree with that? Created from the container of society and from the masculine. Fireflies 84, it's always the men 50 plus that have the balls. Sunny Bright 2020, but if we are developing and helping those insecurities in them up, yeah, don't get me started living these parents' basements. It's about communication. Jess says, I believe a lot of people hold back because of judgment, but once you can let that go, you'll find freedom. Amy says, dang, Brand, I can't believe your seal hasn't broke yet. I've been to the potty at least 3 times. Love it. Amy, I love your comments. I do got to go pee in a second here, but I just wanted to get through the subject here. Michelle says, Lilith must be why I've had so much trouble finding a masculine equal. Yeah, I don't know if you've seen your chart, Michelle, but I would look where Lilith is at and look where that's at. If it's in your 7th or if it's in your 1st, it probably is going to have a significant part to play in, you know, basically scaring or intimidating away men or masculine, or causing them to step up to meet you or to create safety and security within you. But I love what you guys said too around, you know, if we can understand too, right? Because this isn't just a shit fest on men. You know, I am a man and I'm growing actively in my masculine every day. You know, understanding that, you know, there's some real insecurities there that lie dormant within men as well, that if we can find any way to kind of help them along and just be like, you know, just gotta say, hey, it's okay, you know, you're not gonna hurt me, you're not gonna scare me by being direct or you know, participating or appreciating or whatever it is you guys want from the masculine, right? It's okay to kind of help them along and know that we're all humans at the end of the day. We're all in the same boat. We're all scared as hell about what the other thinks of us. You know, we all can be intimidated by, you know, meeting new people, sexual encounters, expressing ourselves sexually, you know, all of these things. right? Britt L says, well, I'm about to go for zero fuck for others' judgment. My lover couldn't accept that I could love him. He experienced our intimacy as pure pleasure. No strings attached. Needless to say, we parted. Yeah, that does get in the way sometimes, I would say. And she says, also was celibate for 5 years. Interesting situation. Awesome. So let me, I'm going to take a brief pause. I do got to go use the restroom for like a couple minutes here. So I'll be right back. We're going to close out after this and kind of wind down for the night, close out the astrology session. I feel it's kind of, we've talked about quite a bit here on this live stream. YouTube's still with us, which is amazing. But let me come back here in just a second. Don't go anywhere, and we'll finish out here. I'm also going to turn the music up so you guys can enjoy. Have a couple more drinks and party. I saw Hot Girl Divine Summer, or Divine Feminine Hot Girl Summer in there. So that's what someone said. All right, be right back. I'm back in action. What's going on, everyone? All right. Let's go ahead. We're going to turn this down just a little bit. Did you guys enjoy the music while I was gone? All right. So we are going to start to close out here and just wind down for the night here. What we're going to do, I'm going to give some final thoughts on the astrology as it exists here. Okay, yeah, music's on, but it's very soft. And then we'll close out with a little ending tarot spread. Whatever messages the guides and angels want us to know as we close out for this Hot Girl Divine Feminine Summer. As someone said on... Oh, okay, actually, we're not because my computer just died. So take that as a sign to say astrology's done. But I will sum up and summarize some of the lessons that we got from the astrology and the themes and everything, and some recommendations here. So on TikTok, Julie says, we enjoy you more. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That means a lot to me. And you're right. I think, if I can get a good balance of doing astrology, but then also just chatting with you guys, maybe that's more recommended. I am going to pour myself just another little half glass of whiskey. Don't mind if I do. It's really good whiskey. Bullet. I don't know if you guys have had this. It's really good. All right. Let's see what everyone's been saying. Madeline says it's a banger. Makes me miss go-go dancing at raves. That's awesome. Ali says that was fast. Yeah. Is it selfish, masculine? Oh, that's what we're going to do too. We're going to do some Q&A stuff. I feel like we're already kind of doing that, to be honest with you guys. But if you guys do want to have some questions, we'll talk about it afterwards. So let's just summarize here what happened. So with the astrology, a lot is, again, as we summarize, like in transition, in the midst of change, right? If you're feeling like, okay, not really sure where things are ultimately heading in terms of your purpose, your life direction, or things kind of feel up in the air when it comes to your day-to-day life, it's because things are in the middle of a shift here, and you're not really supposed to know, and you're not going to know really where that's ultimately going to land for the time being. Now, that is coming into more and more clarity, or more and more understanding, right? Star card reversed with the Two of Wands in the beginning tarot spread. But knowing that there is part of the reason it's a little confusing because there's so many different possibilities that awaits us, both in love and in life. And it's almost like in order to open up all of those possibilities, it's about having to continue to finish out and to learn the lesson of walking away from those situations and people that don't emotionally fulfill us, in order to learn the lesson of true independence, true sovereignty, and true openness to all and every possibility that the universe can possibly give to us that would be best for us in love and in life and for our soul's purpose. It's also much about making those tough decisions, okay, in and despite any of the emotions you may be feeling in your heart, and making those decisions for the best of you and for the best of the world around you, right? And this is specifically in regard to, walking away from emotional situations, and also doing things or being open to things that will serve you, that also may get in the way of progressing in relationships that you've been a part of, or the solid potentiality of a relationship happening right now. Like, there may be literally things that if you were to be open to or to accept would get in the way, stall, or block out the possibility of you being in a relationship with someone else. And it's kind of that test of decisions and choices of, are you going to kind of sacrifice part of your purpose, or sacrifice the acceptance of part of your purpose for something else because of your emotions? Or are you going to make the harder choice and be in alignment with your destiny and, make the tough choice, but also do what's best for you and for the world overall? That's kind of the space we find ourselves in. But in the meantime, as much as we can, enjoying ourselves, expressing ourselves. Okay, we saw that beautiful trine with all the masculine energy. It's perfect timing for summer here, right? I'm laughing. Hot girl, divine feminine summer, people keep saying. Knowing that those celebratory ways of being, hanging out with friends and good people, allows us also to calibrate our energy back into society and to check in with other people around us to see where they've gotten. Remember that we've spent this whole long period in isolation for a particular purpose, in order to, at least for one of the purposes, to calibrate again with ourselves and to be really strong and solid and certain with who we are and who we're becoming, disconnected from anyone else. At least if you spend a good period or chunk of time in isolation generally. It was to kind of block away having to mix your energy in with other people, other energies. Now that things are essentially, for the most part, being lifted in a major way, we have the opportunity to recalibrate. And once we recalibrate, we can reestablish an agenda or a direction and or a common goal or purpose that we want to set our own individual self into, to set in motion. Okay. What else do we get? Of course, we had the long discussion about Ceres and Lilith. I think it was a beautiful thing. We talked about, in some ways, like regression, okay, or de-evolution. I don't know. That's not even a word, but we'll just say regression, almost, in a very physical way. We talked about hunter-gatherers being the new way to evolve, and essentially bringing in all of the experiences, the knowledge, the cultivation of awareness that we've gained throughout the years as spiritual, quote-unquote, spiritual beings, or people who are into more woo-woo stuff, into a very human, everyday, simplified way of being. And really, through that way of being, finding a deeper spiritual clarity or purpose within that. I know it sounds maybe a little ironic or confusing, but we talked about hunter-gatherers and the fact that, their greatest kind of purpose in everyday life is getting enough meat and honey to survive that day. And through just cultivating meat and honey and winning that battle, having and getting to celebrate and to feel really good about themselves, and not really having to stress themselves out about the deeper questions. Well, I feel a lot of us in society generally, right, that's the direction to head into. And through that direction, also opening up our minds and our perceptions to new perspectives, specifically around, primal, sexual, natural ways of being, and particularly around the feminine expression of that. So anyways, lots of stuff coming in. July 12th or 13th, I believe, Venus coming into a conjunction with Mars, which is quite significant. Continuing to balance out, knowing that the balance of your masculine doingness with your feminine beingness, balancing both of those sides out and being aware of which one in your own personal life is coming into a greater expression or balance by the 13th, I believe, of July, somewhere around there, is going to really pay off in a big way to help you be an even better expressor or expression, really, of your soul's knowledge or purpose to other people. Because Venus and Mars coming into a conjunction in Leo, and then with significant alignments with, I believe, the South Node and Chiron. So all because of our choice, right, to at least our soul's choice, not necessarily some of our human choices, but our soul's choice to go through intensive healing of codependent energy through karmic relationships from the past. So it's almost like we're coming into a celebration of like, wow, look at who we've become, look at what we've accomplished, and look at what we can accomplish moving forward because of the work we've put in karmically in this situation. All right. Well, I think that is about the summation of the astrology. And I just want to check in with you guys. This has been a lot of fun. We have a good amount of people still watching, both on Twitch and YouTube, which thank goodness we got YouTube and Twitch reconnected. I'm glad for that. It sucks that YouTube had to go out for a little bit. TikTok, you guys are still here as well. Much love to you guys as always. We are going to be going live tomorrow as well on Twitch alone. Okay, and we're going to be doing live, I haven't decided yet, either live astrology birth chart readings, cold, live, free astrology birth chart readings, or live, cold, personal tarot readings on Twitch tomorrow. What time? I'm not quite sure. I'll announce on my Instagram. Probably, oh, you know what? It might have to be earlier, actually, because I'm having a beach day tomorrow. So it might actually have to be like earlier in the morning, maybe 10-ish. I know it's a little bit early for tomorrow. I'll play around with it and see. And I'll let you guys know on my Instagram. But that was the original plan. Yeah, do both. I know. Well, I've got some yoga here. My apartment opened up and had some yoga, free yoga here at the apartment complex. So I'm gonna go do some yoga, and and then probably, yeah, definitely beach day after that. So I'm thinking before the yoga, the Twitch live, we might just do like an hour or so. But if you guys want to hop on and do that. But if you haven't already, be sure to follow me on Twitch. Let me read some comments here. Jess says, I feel good energy and vibes from this collective today. That's awesome. Yeah, good. We're with you. We're with you. Sunny Bright says, yeah, nice hot yoga. Yep. This is going to be good. Ali says, tarot on the beach. That would be fun. I've never tried that. That would be a lot of fun. Fireflies 84, Friday night with Brandon, can this be a thing? I think it's going to be a thing. Yeah. I'm thinking, I mean, this is a special occasion with the full moon in Capricorn. But I think it's going to be a thing. Pervin says, asking, who's drunk, Lamo? October Sky says, my soul signed the wrong contract. All right. Let's do this. So let's go ahead and jump into, I think you guys are ready for this. We'll do a little bit of Q&A. So if you guys want some personal questions, or you have personal questions for me, or questions around spirituality, questions around growth, whatever it is for you, let them rock and roll. We can even talk about some subjects, right? I know we got into a discussion around like feminine expression and sexuality. I think that was fun. Part of what's fun for me right now too is it's a bit, I feel maybe a bit more you guys are experiencing my, maybe, I don't know, more of a natural state for me, which is, I would say, more masculine. Still trying to figure out like what's more of a natural state. So a lot of the things that we can talk about, I have perspectives on from the masculine energy about what it feels like, what we're going through. Been going through a lot of that stuff too. Okay, Ali says, alcohol and connecting to spirit, any difference for you? Not so much, actually. What's funny is I was wondering about that. I was like, am I going to be able to connect and to do anything? And it's like, once I opened the ceremony and felt their presence, it kind of rolled how it needed to roll. In some ways, I would say alcohol kind of helped the channeling, if that's, I know that's kind of crazy. Like for instance, on my Sunday readings, it's almost like I cannot be playing music and like channel at all. Like you guys saw me kind of freeze up last week. And this one was, I was kind of blasting music here and able to channel just fine. And when I say channel, let me be very clear about channeling, right? It's a mix for me. Like sometimes there's straight up words I'm saying that are just coming out of nowhere, outside of myself, into reality. And that's what I mean by like channeling, right? And oftentimes I'll credit the guides to giving me the ideas or the inspiration in that direction. Other times it's just intuitive hits from my soul. And I don't really know what to call the difference between the two. And they're very similar. They're very related, I would say. But yeah, I would say some stuff from me is coming from me and my soul and kind of that intuitive hit. Other stuff I know is just coming like sometimes, you know, I'll be talking about astrology, like I'm like, where the hell did that come from? So anyways, I feel like it helped a little bit. The one thing with alcohol with me is it kind of like I can feel it kind of creates a little bit more of a tension in my jaw area. And so I feel a little bit less, like it's almost like my brain wants to speak faster than I can actually speak. Like the transmission of signals slows down, right? Like I have a lot of air and fire in my chart, and I'm a very cardinal energy person. So there's a lot of very quick kind of like things just settle out fast. With alcohol, it kind of dims the signal a little bit, right? So the transmission between what my brain wants to say and what my mouth can say, it's almost like I'm watching it in slow motion. You know what I mean? So it's very interesting. And I'm kind of surprised. It hasn't seemed to dim the effect at all, I would say, interestingly. I think with more, it would definitely start to dim the effect. But if I'm keeping it 1 or 2 glasses of, watered down whiskey, I don't think the channeling's affected at all. In fact, it might be even enhanced in some ways. Oops, keep messing this chat thing up. All right. Amy says it's a portal. Yeah, I totally agree with that. It could be. Fireflies84 says, Akashic Records. Have you tapped into that for love and life in general? Yes, I have. Many times. Both. So my history with the Akashic Records, those of you guys who don't know what the Akashic Records are, how many of you guys know what the Akashic Records are? Let us know in the chat if you know what the Akashic Records are. But there's this thing called, there's like this, I'll describe it as best as I know about it. I don't know too much about it, but my experience is this. So there's this energetic realm called the Akasha, from what I've learned. Oh, Jennison, I don't know these. Okay, there's something called the Akashic Records or the Akasha, which is essentially an energetic realm which allows you to access a place that has all of the knowledge of the past, the present, and the potential futures of every single soul in existence that you can then open up and work with the masters and wise ones that are overseeing or kind of overlooking the Akasha or the Akashic Records, and you can channel in-depth information about someone's soul history, okay? Which would be everything from their past lives to their present reality and what's going on with that, and also their future potentialities, okay? So I've had my Akashic Records channeled 3 or 4 times now. The last one I did, so funny enough, I had just started like, oh, so all you got to do, this is before I knew, I could channel things like that. I was like, oh, so you just got to say this pathway prayer. Like there's this pathway prayer that exists from Linda Howe. Those of you guys who are interested, go look up Linda Howe, okay, Lindahowe, Linda Howe pathway prayer. You can Google it. She literally has it on Google. And you can read this prayer. And this is the opening prayer that allows you to tap into the Akashic energy. And once you tap into this Akashic energy, you can start to officially channel from the Akashic Records. And you got to say the specific soul's name, things like that. And anyways, once you open this up, it's this, it's a very distinctive, can be intense sometimes, feeling that comes over you, and you just start channeling. And so what I've done anyways was my last Akashic reading that I had read for me, I had prior to that just started trying to do this on my own, because I go, well, I can do it. It's just a pathway prayer. As I started doing it, and I started recording myself, and this was back before I had any of this YouTube channel, things like that. I'm like, I was still skeptical, right? I was like, is this coming from me? Is this coming from a channeled source? Like all these things that I'm saying. And then the last Akashic Records I had read for me after that, the last thing the Masters and Wise Ones said, because I had asked, what are my superpowers or what am I able to do? And they had literally said, like, channel the Akashic Records in the guidance, this woman that was channeling. And so I knew right away, I was like, oh, okay, this is part of what I'm meant to do. And then I even offered like Akashic Records channeling sessions for clients for quite a while, and had some really successful sessions. So they're really profound. Praga says, I had a very vivid meditation traveling through the Akashic Records. That's awesome. Yeah, I have, I'm still working on the visual stuff for me. It tends to be more auditory. But yeah, there's people who say they can have some very vivid experiences with the Akasha and the Akashic Records. Praga says, why does my left ear ring? Can Spirit say anything about that to me? So one thing about the words I'm hearing here, you have to let us know what this means to you. They're saying force and envy from within. Force and envy from within, with the left ear specifically for you. And it's also a little bit around feeling supported. And there's a bit of a awakening and awareness that wants to come through this part of your energy or your soul around being able to feel within your own self-supported. That's the words that come to me, like self-supported. It's almost like they're saying that's the portal. Interestingly, the portal or the side of you that is most open or receptive to receiving new insights and energetic frequencies and ways of being. Yeah, it's almost like they're saying, one thing generally, right, is our brain is like a signal transmitter and receiver, right? But if one side of the body is more open and able to kind of perceive or to feel, then it will often get those signals or perceive those signals more tangibly than any other area of the body. So the ringing in general, right? I mean, that's, and I'm sure you already know this, but this is around specifically like, um, it's almost like they're equating it to static essentially. Static in terms of there's presence of different electromagnetic waves or fields or energy that then is like either attempting to come in or present, that then kind of causes some either disruption or an intermingling of your natural frequency with their quote unquote theirs. And this is what causes a little bit of, so it's almost like the ringing is just they're saying the ringing is basically a signifier of an adjustment that's happening within the soul and within the energy body in order to become attuned to receiving. That's why they're saying yeah. It feels like your left side is like your power, kind of it's the present side, like it's fully there, it's fully embodied, right? Which also happens to be that feminine side. So anyways, take that as it resonates. That's what came through. Let's see, other questions here. Ooh, that's cool. Amy says, for me, left ear is downloads, right ear is someone contacting me like a PH call. That's our phone call, I'm assuming. That's awesome. That's really cool. Shauna says it's downloads. Sexy Kitty says, how do I step into my spiritual path? Sexy Kitty, if you want to define, if you could help me out, define spiritual path for me, that'd be really helpful. Because I'd love to help with this question. But what do you mean? What do you mean by spiritual path? What does a spiritual path mean to you? I'll ask you that, and we'll come back to you. Jess911 says, I had a brief vision or image when meditating. Can you ask if this was from my past or future, please? Okay. So now I see. All right. So I can get little tiny snippets here, but my normal ability, this is very interesting because this is the first time this has happened to me. My normal ability to have snapshot insight into the questions you guys are asking is severely diminished. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. Because what I normally do is I'll look at a question and I'll kind of go right here and tap in. And I'm simultaneously, here's my process, by the way, and we'll make this a learning exercise. Because I'm learning too, right? About all this stuff, like how do you channel? How does it work? How does it work with me? What happens is normally I look at a question, let's just stay on the live chat, and I'll receive the question, boom, I'll hold that in my soul, while simultaneously tapping into the energy field here. So right outside my third eye, my crown, I'll just kind of tap into there. And typically there will be an instantaneous answer. Like there'll be a yes, there'll be a no, there'll be insights, there'll be words, there'll be like knowingness. And I'll just gotta be honest with you guys. I tried to do that and it was just like, bleh. It was just dead. Like I would get, with Prague, right, it was kind of a struggle. Like I was really reaching for stuff there. We ended up making it through, but it's not something I feel that I could actually fluently do at this time. So we've now realized, interestingly, the effect that alcohol can have. Because I think the reason why is, I think there's a difference between specific psychic or spiritual insight when it comes to people's personal situations, and also like generally intuitively what is going on in the collective. Like that's something I feel that at this level it's okay, like it happens. I wouldn't go any deeper into alcohol to be able to do that. But with personal situations, I feel that definitely requires a lot more of a connection, like a clear connection. And for whatever reason, that connection is like hanging off the line for me right now. So I'll just be honest with you guys and say, I'm probably not going to be able to do those for this particular session, but we will save those for a different event. Probably on Twitch. So I know on Twitch we did live tarot readings, and then it kind of evolved or devolved into just kind of psychic. People would ask questions and just a little bit of instantaneous guidance that would come in. You guys got to remember, like, I feel like I'm still growing and still evolving in my ability to do these things, right? So when I, like, in a real level, when I first got onto YouTube, like, I didn't even know how to use my intuition, like that I could channel, that, you know, I was really actually could be proficient to these things. It was only when I kept doing tarot readings for other people, specifically when there was a need for it, that these things started to evolve. And I'm kind of learning on as I go. I'm like, oh, well, this is, I guess I can channel the Akashic Records for people. I guess I can channel guidance generally. So I'm literally in the midst of experimenting and kind of learning about this in my own way, which is fun and interesting. Yeah, I agree. Ali says there was a reason I had to ask. Yeah, I agree. And I was like, no, I just got to be honest with this one, right? It's like I try to tap in. I'm like, it's just not. I think, you know, if I really, probably not. And I think what happened is so alcohol, we know, is like, I'm pretty sure it lowers vibration, right? It kind of makes things a little bit more dense, I would say, is what it feels like to me. Like more in my body, right? Less kind of light or, you know, I don't know, in touch or in tune with the ether. So normally where there's like a very quick ability to just go boom, boom, receive it all. Right now it's kind of like I'm like trying to go out and it's like it won't go. It's like, oh man, this is crazy. So thank you guys for the opportunity to try this out, because this is fun. Fireflies84, pretty sure he's not yet 30, dirty 30, lol. I am 29. And yes, Amy, this is a science experiment. This is a magician's experiment. By the way, Amy, just want to share for the record, I've been loving your emails. You've been sending me some emails. I read them every time. They give me a huge smile. Haven't had time to reply yet, but I really appreciate them. Thank you. I'm 29 and not yet 30. And so, yeah, life is in quite a bit of a flux for me too. Cecilia says, so will you answer how old are you? Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm 29, I would say. Michelle says, went to a place when regressing, but it was purple with magenta mist instead of past life. What the heck? Yeah, I don't know. That's very curious. That's very interesting. You know, that's actually, I know, Jen, this has occurred with you too, but I've heard it happen a couple times, not too much, where people are attempting to have psychic access to another realm, and what happens is they experience like either a green or a purple or some type of colored mist, and I don't quite understand exactly what that is. Yeah, Jen said she had the green mist there. Okay, good, Amy. So I'm not quite sure what that is. Yeah. Right now I'm very limited to a strictly intellectual way of being, which is a little frustrating for me, to be honest with you guys, because normally I'm used to having that access with you guys to be able to like tap in, answer your questions. And right now I feel like I'm just purely like I'm almost limited to being a human. And it's kind of like, oh my gosh, like this is new. This is kind of scary, but scary in a good way. Scary as in like, it's a whole new capacity or way of being that I got to be in. Provincia Ferio, thank you, Jen. How long have you been in tune with your spirituality and your powers? Not too long, I would say. Since, well, I'll be honest. So the beginning of this YouTube channel, which was like the beginning of this year, or even a little bit before that, I would say the end of 2020. And beginning of this year, actually, yeah, a little bit before the beginning of this year into the end of last year, when I started doing tarot readings online, that's when like things were really put to the test, and the intuitive part really started to pop, or I really started to realize that there was something there. Like there was an ability to do this that came from outside of myself and could help people. But in terms of my own personal spirituality, it was a long process. Looking back now, I always forget how long it took me to step into my spirituality. It was a very long, I'm a very skeptical person by nature, very mentally oriented, very intellectual by nature. And it took me several years. I would say 3, 4, 5 years. I would say it started in 2017, 2018, around there. Around 2016 was when I first started studying astrology, but from a purely intellectual standpoint. And then 17 and 18, I think I found tarot around that time from a friend. And also got Reiki initiated, and that's where it all began for me. Ain Snow says, kindly read my query above. Okay, what query did you have from Ain? Let me see. Why is it sometimes when I close my eyes, either before nap or sleep, I see random images I can't explain or comprehend? Because it's like I'm watching white sketches on a black screen. Awesome question. Oftentimes, so right before you said either before nap or sleep. So yeah, this is like classic going into theta brainwave state. So theta brainwave state is the state of awareness where we are most in tune or in touch with our subconscious mind or the unconscious world generally, okay? And when I say unconscious world, I mean the world connected to both our soul's infinite knowledge and awareness and the collective's infinite knowledge and awareness, right? This is a state where we can seamlessly tap into that. Interestingly, as a little side note, because I did a lot of testing around this, I used to work as a human performance or biohacker specialist, right? Salesperson. So we had access to a lot of these cool machines. One of the machines I had access to was called an EEG brain trainer. And so I would often be very good at going into theta state. And so I think one of the natural abilities to receive channeled insights or awareness from the subconscious or unconscious mind relies on being able to access theta brainwave state. Anyways, we are often most able to access theta brainwave state right before we go to sleep. So right as we're drifting off, and it kind of feels like we're in that, like, not quite fully asleep yet, but we're not quite fully awake. We're kind of just drifting in this world, this unknown world. That's classically known as theta state. And so what will happen is if there are messages, literally, right, messages or things that need to be processed or things that your soul wants you to be aware of in some way, shape, or form, or a message to be delivered to you, even from outside of you, by the way. So I'm not just talking from your soul, but from outside of you, messages from the divine. This will often come in the form of images or words or random insights or knowledge insights that come right before you're about to go to sleep. Okay. So these are just, I'm still wrestling with, let me know what you guys think about this, but like those images, and this the same thing with dreams, right? Dreams, because when we're sleeping, we're in a mix between theta and delta. But yeah, I haven't decided fully if like those random images, because I get those sometimes too, have meaning or significance behind them, or if they're just random kind of pieces of knowledge or insight that our soul is bringing up for us to be aware of on another level. I'm not sure. But either way, I know that those things classically happen. It's interestingly, so I believe there was, I'm not sure if it was Einstein or someone, I read about this in Think and Grow Rich, which is an amazing personal development book. But there was someone that Napoleon Hill talks about who, I think it was Thomas Edison actually, if I believe I'm correct in this, would purposefully put himself into like the half waking, half sleep state, theta brainwave state, in order to receive like insights or channeled guidance from above for his ideas, for his inventions. Have you guys heard of this before? Let me know in the chat if you guys have heard of this from Think and Grow Rich. but he was talking about theta state. And so it's a brilliant state if we're aware of what's happening to be able to receive insight. And also, I believe he did that same method. I'm pretty sure it was Thomas Edison, to receive answers to his greatest questions, like things he couldn't figure out or if he was curious about. The book states that he would go into the state focused around this question, and then he would receive kind of theta brainwave guidance around the answers to these questions. So very interesting topic, but that's the most of what I know about that. Mel says, oh my God, just got that book out of the library today. That's awesome. It's an amazing book. I might reread it myself if I still have it in my library. Really, really, really good book. Perfect for today, like what's going on now, I feel like there's kind of a reawakening of some of the Think and Grow Rich principles. Provincia says, I think it's kind of both. Subconscious, it's really crazy. Mix extra things, don't take rare things a little. Yeah, I kind of agree with you, Provincia. Like there's been a lot of kind of random things that would happen that I'm like, I could analyze all day long. I can't find any significant meaning behind them. There's been other things that have been meaningful. So I think it's a mix of both. But I think it's really a tool for us to we can be conscious around it and ask specific questions. SSB meme says, you are handsome. Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. That means a lot. Good stuff. RF Montreal says, I see my sun, moon, rising reading today, and I see it's aligning. What does Spirit want me to do? Can you speak to Spirit? I could try, but I'm not going to try right now. I tried to pretty unsuccessfully for someone else. I think it was Ali. Unfortunately, a couple drinks into alcohol dimmed the connection a little bit. It's actually something I was not aware of until this happened. So here we go. We're all learning here tonight. But if you want to hop into one of my next Twitch streams, which will likely be tomorrow, at what time I'm not sure yet. Earlier in the morning, most likely. It could be midday before the beach day officially begins too. Then I would absolutely be willing to answer that question and tap into Spirit for you. I got to let this alcohol clear out first. Provincia says, I recommend Jung. And it's Jung, right? Jung or Jung? I think it's Jung. Jung book, Interpretation of Dreams, yeah. Or Jung. I think it's Jung. Carl Jung, right? There we go. October Sky 22. Welcome to the live stream. Hold on, everyone. So October 22, Sky 22. Are you saying? Hold on, not to like single you out or embarrass you, but did you find this through Twitch organically? Is this your first time seeing me either from TikTok or YouTube? Like it's just you found me through Twitch. You found us through Twitch organically, or did you find me through YouTube and then go to Twitch, or TikTok and then go to Twitch? October Sky 22. If you could let us know, I would appreciate it. This has been my greatest goal of like, can we get seen on Twitch organically, right? Without having to or getting to transfer people from TikTok over to Twitch. So let us know how you find us, how you found us, October Sky. I'd really appreciate it. But I appreciate you for saying that anyways. It's no problem, and I enjoy it too. I'm glad you enjoyed the live stream. Oh, okay. So October Sky found us through YouTube, first time live. Awesome. Well, I'm glad you're here, regardless. And hopefully in the future we'll get some people who find us organically through Twitch as well. I don't know if there are any that managed to yet. I think we got to get to at least 100 viewers live on Twitch in order to find people organically through that. But we'll see. We'll keep going. All right, let's answer some more questions, and then we'll start to close out. And I do owe you guys a final tarot reading. We've gone about 3 hours, so I think it's about time to wrap up. I think my average time is about 3 hours to go to. See if there's any other final additional questions. That one really got me before we close out today. We'll see how the channeling comes out with the tarot after a few drinks. Oh, Ain, thank you so much. Just found you here on YouTube while scrolling. I appreciate you much, Brandon. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thanks for your question, too. Really good question. I hope it helped. Mel says, I heard Esther Hicks say the original version was modified to remove all references to vibrations as it was too out there for its time 70 years ago. Wow, that's really interesting. I could see that happening for sure. All right, guys. Shaylee says, excited to hear the whiskey tarot. Yeah, me too, Shaylee. We'll see what happens here. And we added reversals in too. So I'm like extra kind of extra at risk here of like totally drawing blanks here. I'm like, we have reversals for the first time in this deck, and we're 2 cups of whiskey in, so we're going to see how this goes. Ain says, you help so much. At times it happens when I'm fully conscious as well. He. That's awesome. Oh, okay. So HBF, HB from Dop says, hello, first time on Twitch, found you on YouTube as well. Awesome. Well, welcome. It's glad to have you here. All right, here we go. So this is, I was going to answer any last question. Let me see if there's any last question. I don't think there are. So we'll start to end here. SSB memes, if you're still here. Is aura a real thing? Absolutely, it's a real thing. I would say there's some people who are very gifted at seeing auras, and there's different colors around auras. I can see them generally if I concentrate a lot, but they're not my strong suit by any means at all. I'm more of an auditory guy for sure. Yeah, Jen says, it seems like the YouTube algorithm is easy to figure out. Twitch one is difficult. Yeah, YouTube is very much like set in its ways in stone, which makes it easier to figure out, but also more constraining. Whereas Twitch is just kind of like the wild, wild west. And it's like, if you get 100 to 200 plus viewers in the right category, you can start to take off. Anyone can start to take off. It's like, the challenge is, how the heck do you even get those 100 viewers in the first place? Well, luckily, I've built a little bit of an audience here on YouTube and TikTok, so I can make it a little easier for me. So I have a little bit of an advantage. Jen, one of our goals is to create our own category. She says the Twitch one is difficult. We need our own category. I totally agree. All right, guys, let's finish out here. So angels and guides, loved ones, masters, wise ones, if you're still with me. Let's close out here. Any closing messages that we have for the collective live here on TikTok and Twitch and YouTube after an amazing session of guidance that we had today and tonight. Thank you so much as well, by the way, for just a fun time with these people, these amazing people. And again, for all the advice, for the guidance, for the clarity on what's going on collectively, and for the ability for us to just kind of relax and enjoy, de-stress a little bit, have a good time, smile, most importantly, and see life for what it really is, which is the greatest game of all time, that we're all trying to still figure out and learn how the heck it is that we win, if there is a way to win. All right. Thank you. If we can have some closing messages here, I'd appreciate it. Whoa. Sure, we'll go with this. Ace of Swords with the Four of Wands. Wow, and we have all upright cards. So this is a little crazy because the first reading we had literally all upside down, like reversed cards. And we just let go of like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards that are all upright here. So it's almost like the first message that comes to me is like, again, if things seem like they're just getting turned upside down and they're all sorts of bent out of shape and confusing and they're just not going the right way, or it seems like they're not going the right way, or it's difficult for things to progress at this time, just know that time and patience is involved, okay? Time and patience is involved, and a little bit of just accepting what is until things can sort themselves out into the right way of being. It's like, what did we do today, right? Like today, we got our first message, which was what it was. Then we had an amazing just hangout and session. We had some laughs. We answered some questions. We explored some really interesting topics. And by the end of the day, we have all upright cards here, okay, heading in the right direction. And so what I would say is, in the meantime, it's exactly that, is find a way to just be and enjoy life with where you're at, what's going on, the opportunities you have presented to you, learn along the way, and know that in time, everything's going to sort itself out. But it's not going to be with any sort of particular effort, right? Or like will that you put into place. Like they're going to sort themselves out in their own particular way and in their own particular time. Now, specifically around Ace of Swords is the crowning card. I guess we can call this a crowning card. Crowning card with the 8 of Pentacles here, Ace of Pentacles and the 10 of Wands here, right? So really get the feeling we're laying the groundwork for what it's going to take to build something and to have clarity also around what's going to sustain us long term and to be a different form of receiving and generating financial stability and income. That is the biggest and main core thing. It's almost like in what way can we develop our own unique, special, and authentic way of providing income for ourselves and within a partnership for the future that will help us to be more multidimensional, right? It's like almost having the choice of whether or not we want to work, okay? The choice of whether or not we want to work and when we work and how we work is most important in terms of what we're identifying, getting clear on, and what's coming forth through this time. But it is around finances. It is around, creating something authentically that is your own in order to sustain you and to help you to be in a very solid and sustainable partnership moving forward for the long term. And also something that's going to help you feel more secure and fulfilled within yourself when you do come into a long-term partnership here with 4 of Wands here, celebration and marriage. It's almost like these two individuals, right? They're celebrating, they're happy, they're proud because they've been through the ringer, right? It's like, how good would this be? Really, how good would this be if there were not any like effort or pain involved in what you've had to become or to do in order to come together, right? Look at the happiness emanating from this card of these people as these people raise their arms in celebration, and look at what they're able to create together. That is exactly the feeling that is wanting to come forth through your particular sustained effort in your individual life at this very moment. And it would not be the same amount or level of celebration if you were not putting in the work that you are putting now in order to create something solid and secure within yourself. Amy says, focus on the meat and honey. I love that. Thank you, Amy, for that. 10 of Wands here, right? And this is also, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of responsibility. It's a lot of hard work. I love, what we talked about today in terms of focusing on the meat and honey, right, Amy? And also working out or like putting your body through pain and a little bit of suffering, like maniacal suffering in order to create joy. It's almost like getting used to carrying the load, getting used to carrying the burden of the responsibility, the pain, the suffering, the discipline, and embracing that and being okay with that and being happy with that. That is what actually truly leads to fulfill. What's up, Austin? Good to see you on here. Welcome. That is what truly leads to a fully fulfilled later down the road, right? Love and sustainable life with a partner. It's beautiful stuff, really, right? It's basically the essence of what we've been talking about is like the reward is not half as good if the work that you put in to gain that reward is not anywhere on par with the reward itself. Does that make sense to you guys? That's the feeling I'm getting is like, if we were to just receive the reward once again at this time, it would not be nearly as fulfilling or sustainable as it would be if we were, and as we are putting in the work that we're putting in now. But Ace of Swords, Ace of Pentacles here, right? This is truly a whole brand new way of being that might seem really new. It might seem really fresh and intimidating. Right. Bottom of the deck for this, we have the King of Swords and the, King of Swords here on the bottom of the deck. King of Swords, we have the Devil in reverse. Look, oh, wow. This is beautiful. Why I feel Spirit's been got, like they wanted me to put reversals into the deck, right? King of Swords with the Devil reversed on the bottom of the deck, right? This is totally like, there's dark energy. There's karma, there's emotions. We can't do it. We cannot do it right now. It's like it's not going to serve us to be involved in any sort of way in a karmic link or connection that's going to distract us from all of what we just channeled here and now in this tarot reading, right? And it's slaying the devil. That's pretty much what it is. You know, slaying the devil with a priority of where consciousness and energy should be put into, you know. Three of Pentacles, Knight of Wands, and Six of Pentacles with the Two of Cups reversed. So Two of Cups reversed, Six of Pentacles reversed, Knight of Wands reversed, and the Three of Pentacles reversed, right? The only thing I would say as low-key advice here, okay, is not to lose your... not to lose yourself within the freedom or collaboration that you engage with others. Like right now, and especially moving forward, Spirit is saying there's definitely going to be some type of involvement with other energies or other people that can get a little bit off of the rails in terms of maybe distracting you from your path or distracting you from the light, right? Or distracting you from the sole major purpose. And I really do feel like it's okay to dip your toes in the water a little bit and kind of see what's going on. But they're saying don't lose yourself within that, right? Knight of Wands with Three of Pentacles reversed. It's like, yeah, you're going to have freedom. You're going to have opportunities. You're going to have experiences this summer. But don't lose yourself within them. And don't lose yourself especially to any influences that are, that are not truly kind of long-term alignments for you, right? And it's okay, I would say, to mix with people and individuals that temporarily, right, are helping you to enjoy and to express yourself and to be more free and to have a good time. But are they really individuals you want to partner up with for the long term? I don't know. That's a question you're going to have to decide for yourself. Two of Cups in the reverse with the Six of Pentacles in the reverse here as well. I mean, straight up, right, about relationships, this is like... relationships right now, present, formulating, romantic relationships, right? Two of Cups partnerships, okay? With the Six of Pentacles in reverse here. It's about a lack of reciprocity and lack of sharing has not been present within relationships, right? Within couplings, within dynamics between people, within romantic situations. And I feel with this coming up in reverse, both of them, it's just not gonna happen for at least the short term. Any relationship dynamics that happen, or couplings or partnerships that happens in a romantic way, particularly because of Juno, because of where Juno's at, it's just basically here to test, I would say, the lessons you've learned in terms of, have you learned what you want and what you truly need in a relationship, in an emotional situation? Like, have you really learned that lesson, or are you willing to kind of do the whole thing over again? You might even be tested with that. Like, some of you guys might be meeting people or getting tested with other individuals that, I'll just say it, like, kind of have the same dynamic energetically as your past person. So are you going to learn that lesson, or are you going to kind of let that one go? Let me draw 3 final advice cards and we'll close this one out. Thank you, Spirit. Beautiful reading. RF Montreal, can alcohol affect spiritual ability? Yes, absolutely. We saw that. I saw that firsthand tonight. I could not tap in and answer someone's personal, direct spiritual question in the same capacity that I used to be able to. All right, we have the two. Oh, wow. Wow. Okay. This was intended to be final advice here. So we have the Two of Pentacles popping out first. We have the Lover's card in upright, and we have the Two of Swords here in the reverse here. What's interesting about this? Okay. All right. Here we go. Let me take this last little drink of whiskey and we'll finish up this reading, because this one's going to be a little deep, okay? All right. With the Lovers here showing up upright and the Two of Pentacles here. Obviously, you guys know me and my love affair with the infinity symbol and what that means to me. Two of Pentacles with the Lovers here upright and the Two of Swords. Okay. Right now, quite simply, quite frankly, it's almost as if you don't have a choice. We don't have a choice when it comes to the dynamics of how a soul connection, twin flame relationship, love of your life kind of situation is going. It's almost like there are certain dynamics around that Two of Swords reversed where we don't have really a choice of what we're experiencing or what the other person is choosing, or we are essentially not in control of the situation. Okay. Now, what I will say is that, if this is showing up in the final three cards in the middle of the three cards that I chose, right? And it is and always will be, right, the most kind of integral, significant, main reason that I'm here and what I channel for is the twin flame connection, and or the love collective, the soul connection collective, right? Whatever you want to call it. We called it twin soul connection at one point. But in reality, right, it's a twin flame connection. It's someone who is connected very deeply within you on a soul level. If this is still present in your reality, and you're unsure of really why it's there, what it's doing, where it's going, what the outcome will be, it's not about the reality of the relationship or the union or the connection itself, if that makes sense. It's not a question anymore, right, about whether or not it's real or whether or not it's a thing or whether or not it just is what it is, right? If there's someone energetically who you still sense after a lot of time in your energy consistently with no explanation as to why, it's because there's a real, very tangible, profound connection. Even though, right, there's at this time collectively just loads of karma and specific lessons to learn around that. And there's really not a choice at this time as to what happens in terms of the actual coming together of, right, Two of Swords in reverse with Lovers, of two divine partners. That's the theme of this. Okay. Ironically, right, we have Two of Pentacles, which is about, typically, right, traditionally, it's about, having a lot of things up in the air and really kind of needing to hone in or make a choice around something. So it's almost like, even though there's a lot of chaos or energetic kind of choice feeling like it needs to happen or wants to happen, it's like we don't really have that choice that we think we have. So anyways, part of this is just having the awareness that what's going to happen, what's going to be, what you're feeling, what you sense, specifically around a significant person or soul connection, someone who's had a major impact in your life who you still feel connected with on a very deep level, just knowing that that is here to stay. It's a very real thing. And there's a lot of karma to be worked out. There's a lot of specific lessons. You have to be willing to still continue to trust that all of the lessons you're going through in regards to this particular connection, if you are in one or feeling one, is for your greatest possible soul's growth, your greatest possible expression, your greatest possible maturity, everything. So you can be the best individual you can possibly be. It really is for that. And there's a reason why, right? People know that connections like this are the most difficult connections of all time. There's a very strong reputation around that, and around the twin flame connection, and it's very real. Take it from someone who's learning as we go too, myself speaking. So if they're interestingly, the Two of Pentacles, right, what I'm getting from this is it's almost like here's what's ironic. Can you create right? Enough doingness and busyness within your own life to kind of move you in a direction that is not so much having to wonder, need, or cling on to the reality or the outcome of a divine connection in your life. Let me repeat that again. Two of Pentacles. Is there a way, ironically, that you can create and you can do and create enough busyness within your own life in a productive and meaningful way that it allows you to not have to linger so much in the depth of what a soul connection, soul tie is causing energetically within your own life. And those things, interestingly, because we don't really have a choice as to whether or not we're going to experience this, quote unquote, someone said, hot mess love energy, will be the best possible things to complement or to balance the need to kind of be in or to linger within, right? The beingness of the connection itself, if that makes sense. Oh, Empress 1111, welcome. So I'll leave it at that, and hope this helped you guys and you found it well. And thank you guys for sharing the live video. Unfortunately, we are going to close out here. Empress 1111 says, my love would continue to flourish. I embrace the love of self and the collective. That's awesome. Ain Snow says, possible, but still will interfere. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it will. Make no mistake. For the lovers to show up in the advice. For the lovers to show up in the 3 final advice cards with the 2 of Swords reversed and the and the 2 of Pentacles upright. It's like, you better believe that this energetic connection is going to be a constant presence in your life. Like, don't doubt it for a second that this thing is not going to be, quote unquote, interfering with the everyday affairs of your life. But really, it's about, again, how well can you still manage to pull yourself on track into what is best for you in and despite any of the interference that this connection has going on, right? So anyways, I think it's very interesting. Now, interestingly, Star card appears upright this time on the bottom of the deck. So those of you guys saw in the beginning, we had the Star card in the reverse for the crowning card. Ace of Cups reversed, the World reversed, 6 of Cups reversed here, and King of Pentacles reversed. Let me talk about these reversals first, and we'll talk about the uprights here. I feel like there's an emphasis here. 4 of Cups here being reversed with the King of Pentacles. Ace of Cups with the 4 of Cups reversed here. It's almost like having the conscious self-awareness. Yeah, what's coming to me is like, it's almost like having the conscious self-awareness to know and to be disciplined enough to not be willing to accept love at this time. Like, period, end of story, regardless. It's almost like what I'm getting is like, because there's such a desire around that, right? Like, there's such a desire to be in love, to engage in partnership and romance and love. Because the first thing that they told me was like the 4 of Cups reverse here is emphasized, and the Ace of Cups here is reversed with the World card reverse. So it's maybe like at one time you were really kind of just wanting to engage in new love, right? Like that was the thing. You're like, okay, I just want to be in a new situation, a new partnership, want to experience new love. But then at the same time, is it's like with where you're at and where you're going, right? Do you really want to engage with someone new at this particular moment in time? I'm not saying it's bad to engage with someone new in some time, as some time passes, when things are really kind of straightened out here. But is it really something that you want or that you're ready for to be willing to accept in a new love situation or partnership at this particular time? Something inside of me says probably not. That would not probably be the most fortuitous thing for the World card reversed here. For what would be best for the long term of the world abroad. We also have the King of Pentacles here reversed, right? Showing up here. So it's almost like it's a difficult decision, but it's also one that's quite necessary. It's almost like it's a sacrifice you're having to make in order to really create abundance and wealth in your life. So it's like you could have love, right? You could have love. And you guys on here, right? It's like you could be open to love. You could have love or partnership come in. Like, that's not a problem. But if you'd be willing to sacrifice that, essentially is what I'm getting. If you'd be willing to sacrifice new love or romance at this time, that might be what is required, King of Pentacles in reverse, in order to be able to create this substantial new empire and wealth and abundance and way of being. Now talking about the Sun card and the Six of Cups upright here. And the Star card on the bottom of the deck with a Tower. And the Nine of Pentacles. Yeah. Because what I see here is like, I mean, Sun card, Six of Cups, is there's essentially it's what feels like a soulmate. I'll say that. Six of Cups with the Sun card. It's what feels like someone who is in a really good place, who wants to make an appearance in your life, or who is ready. And you might have to make the choice around engaging within new love. You might have to choose whether or not you are willing to accept and to engage in new love and romance with this person in the near future. And I think it's a valid choice, and it's I guess it's getting clear on what you would like to experience from that and what that experience would be for, if you do choose to engage with it. So anyways, I'll leave it at that. Could also be someone from your past as well, the Six of Cups and the Sun card. But someone who's here to bring a lot of happiness and joy and has a lot of inner joy within themselves. But I'm not sure necessarily, like it doesn't feel like it's able or wants to actualize into a partnership just yet. Or maybe is even meant to. All right, there we go. So we're going to close out officially now. Let me read some comments and close out the ceremony officially. Thank you guys so much for all of the support, the amazing engagements and comments as always. I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's full moon live stream. Let me know what you guys, your biggest insight that you got, if you want to share in the chat here. Hello from Canada, says Forever Love. Hello from Marina Del Rey. It's nice to have you on here. Curtis said, I'm having a blast. Awesome. Sunny Bright 2020, I'm open to love as well. Justice, thank you. Empress 1111 says music. I love it. Ain says, blessed be Brandon. Everyone, thank you so much. Blessed be you as well as everyone else. Michelle says, not be in love, just to love, no strings, no shackles. Yeah, that kind of feels like it sums it up as well, Michelle. That's what I was thinking too. Empress said, missed you. Missed you too, Empress. Thanks for being here. Amy says, you kept me past at my bedtime. Thank you. Night night. Yeah, good night. Have a good time, guys. The best was the music and fun time. Also confirmation. Seriously had fun, enjoyed it. Good. Maybe we'll make this a regular thing. I don't know if it's going to be every Friday. But it will be, I think it'll be a thing. I think this is fun, especially if I can get it to continue to work on YouTube and Twitch. That would be a lot of fun. So thank you guys again for joining. If you want to begin catching live streams on Twitch, we're going to be focusing most of our energy onto that specific platform and doing live readings, both with the tarot and astrology, live, cold, personal readings for free. Go ahead and follow me on Twitch. You can find me at twitch.tv/btobias6. And we'll probably be doing them at least once a week every Saturday, if not 2 or 3 times a week. Tomorrow, I'm going to have to figure out what time we can go live, if at all. I'm thinking probably 10-ish or after yoga from like 12 to 1, and then I got to get ready for beach day. So we shall see. But thank you guys again. I'm going to go relax and have some bites to eat, sober up a little bit so I can be on point for you guys tomorrow and have that connection back. I feel like it came back a little bit towards the end as I kind of sobered up a little bit. Really interesting experiment. Like, I feel as it was coursing out of my veins, I'm like, oh, okay, there's my ability to channel back again. Thank you. So, yeah, whiskey's a definite thing in terms of affecting spiritual insight and connection. All right. Bye for now. Love and life. Take care. Love you guys. And I'll see you on the next one.